The Browns just lit the NFL on fire, and not in a good way. You've got sideline meltdowns, a quarterback the team refuses to play, and a head coach out here calmly narrating a disaster movie in real time. But the real headline? Shadūr Sanders might be on his way to the New York Jets. And the NFL world is officially losing its mind. This isn't just some wild internet rumor. Actual reports are flooding in that the Jets are targeting Shedeur. Not considering, targeting. As in, let's go get that guy now before someone else wakes up. And while Jets fans are daydreaming about their next franchise savior, the Browns are digging in like it's war, demanding a second-round pick for a fifth-round rookie they won't even let suit up. You can't make this up. But that's just scratching the surface. This story has everything. Coaching chaos, locker room explosions, conspiracy-level blackballing, and one of the most bizarre quarterback sagas we've seen in years. So how did we get here? Why is Shadūr Sanders stuck in Cleveland like a star actor in a bad sitcom? And what happens if or when the trade to New York actually goes down? Strap in, because what's happening behind the scenes is wilder than anything happening on the field. Before we talk trade chaos, let's get one thing straight. Shadūr Sanders isn't just some backup quarterback. He's football royalty with a chip on his shoulder the size of a stadium. The son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, Shedeur made headlines before he ever set foot on an NFL field. At Colorado, he turned a struggling program into a viral sensation, racking up stats, swagger, and storylines all season long. Whether you loved him or couldn't stand him, you watched him. On and off the field, Shedeur became must-see football. He had the numbers, the film, the arm, and most of all, the presence. Coaches praised his poise. Teammates followed his lead. Even NFL analysts had him climbing their draft boards. Until they didn't. Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Despite all that buzz, Shedeur slid to the 5th round in the draft. 5th. That's not just shocking, some would say it was intentional. Whispers started flying that teams were spooked by his confidence or maybe uncomfortable with how much control his father, Coach Prime, still had over his career. Cue the word no one wants to say out loud. Blackballed. Was it politics? Ego? Fear of handing the keys to someone who didn't fit the mold? Whatever it was, the league let him slip. And the Browns picked him up like they found gold, only to bury it in the basement and forget the treasure was ever there. But now, the Jets are circling. New York isn't scared of the lights, the pressure, the primetime name, in fact. They seem obsessed. And if Shedeur ends up in green and white, it might just be the NFL's biggest "we messed up" moment in years. If the NFL ever launches a spin-off called Hard Knocks Dysfunction Edition, the Browns wouldn't just be featured, they'd be the season finale. Let's call it what it is. Cleveland has made chaos its identity. Year after year, quarterback controversy isn't the exception, it's the tradition. And this season, it's gone full reality show. You've got Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, standing at the center of an implosion with the same calm energy as a yoga instructor mid-earthquake. Players are melting down on the sidelines. Myles Garrett is throwing his helmet like he's auditioning for a Marvel role. And Stefanski? Still mumbling about efficiency. It's insane. Ask any Browns fan right now what's going on with the team, and you'll probably just get a shrug and a deep sigh. Because how do you explain a franchise that keeps starting the wrong QB, while the right one stands on the sideline in full uniform? The locker room knows it. The media knows it. Even the fans who've been through this soap opera 100 times, they know it too. But Stefanski? He's up at the podium throwing out buzzwords like explosiveness and execution while the season burns down behind him in slow motion. What's worse, when Shedeur was left inactive for the last game, the excuse the Browns gave: back tightness. That's it. No full injury report, no plan moving forward, just a vague answer with zero conviction. But the bombshell wasn't the injury excuse. The real energy shift came when Shedeur himself reportedly said it wasn't his decision to sit. Yeah, read that again. So now we've gone from back tightness to internal blame. And that's when things really started to explode. When Shadūr Sanders popped up on the inactive list, the official line was back tightness. Sounds harmless, right? Just a precaution, a non-story. Except it wasn't. Because right after that game, Shedeur dropped a bombshell in the locker room. He told reporters straight up, "It wasn't my decision to sit." And with that one sentence, everything changed. Fans immediately asked the obvious question. If he was healthy enough to warm up on game day, Who exactly kept him off the field? And why? Reporters pounced. Kevin Stefanski didn't flinch. He gave the same vague, robotic answers he always does. Medical decision. He didn't feel right. We evaluated him pregame. Blah, blah, blah. But behind his calm tone, it was clear. Something wasn't adding up. The media caught on fast. The press conference turned from routine Q&A into a courtroom on live television, and Stefanski looked like a defendant with no lawyer. Every question got the same empty phrases. Nothing real. Nothing personal. Just a wall of PR language built to block the truth. And the more he ducked, the louder the storm grew. Twitter exploded. Reddit lit up. Fans dissected every clip, every quote, looking for clues like they were solving a true crime docuseries. Theories ran wild. Was Stefanski icing him out? Was someone on the Browns board pulling strings? Was this a power struggle between coaching and ownership? But through all the chaos, one cold fact remained. Shadūr Sanders was healthy enough to suit up, and someone made sure he didn't. And that's where this thing flipped, from injury update to NFL-level scandal. Because if this wasn't about his back, then what was it about? And that's when another name entered the chat. While the Browns were busy turning press conferences into performance art, the New York Jets were doing something far more dangerous. They were falling in love. Reports started trickling in, then flooding, that the Jets were targeting Shedeur Sanders, not just asking about him, not just doing their homework, targeting, obsessed, fixated. Like a team crawling through the quarterback desert and finding the last unopened bottle of water. It didn't take long for mainstream media to catch on. NFL insiders started name-dropping Sanders like he was the prom king of the 2025 trade deadline. The Jets want him. He fits the New York spotlight. The Browns don't know what they have. And honestly, none of that is wrong. Because if there's one place perfect for a quarterback with swagger, cameras, and something to prove, it's New York City. The lights? Brighter. The pressure? Louder. The expectations? Insane. But for a guy like Shedeur, that's exactly what he wants. They're already picturing it. Shadūr Sanders in green and white, dripping confidence, standing at center stage in MetLife Stadium with 80,000 fans roaring and 8 million New Yorkers either booing or bowing. He doesn't just welcome that energy, he thrives in it. And from what we're hearing, the Jets see him as their golden ticket. They missed their shot in the draft. They've bungled the quarterback position all season. Rodgers is out. Wilson flopped. Trevor Siemian? Don't make us laugh. Shadūr? He represents hope. The one player bold enough, skilled enough, and entertaining enough to survive the brutal blood sport that is New York football fandom. It sounds wild, it sounds risky, but that's exactly why the Jets are all in. And while they're dreaming about Sanders lighting up the AFC East, the Browns, they just picked up the phone and gave them an answer no one saw coming. So the Jets came knocking and the Browns actually answered. But what they said? It wasn't, let's deal. It wasn't, make us an offer. It was more like, sure. But it'll cost you a second-round pick. A second-rounder for a fifth-round QB who hasn't even touched the field. Let that sink in for a second. Cleveland, the same franchise that's barely acknowledged Shedeur exists, now values him like he's the future of football. And the NFL world collectively spit out their coffee. Jets fans lost it. Browns fans couldn't believe the audacity. And the media? Oh, they had a field day. Because this isn't just about a pick. This is about a franchise that's been treating Shedeur like a non-factor, suddenly turning around and demanding a king's ransom to let him go. It's like trying to sell a Ferrari after you let it rust in your front yard. And here's the twist. Some fans actually think the Browns are playing chess. That they knew all along, Shedeur had top-tier potential. That the blackball theories were all fake smoke, and this was part of some genius long con to build trade value. But come on, if Cleveland really believed in him, they wouldn't have glued him to the bench behind Dillon Gabriel and a laundry list of questionable starters. You can't claim someone's a franchise talent right after refusing to give them a single rep. The math doesn't work, the logic doesn't exist. But in Cleveland, that's just business as usual. Still, the Browns stood firm. Second-round pick or no deal. And suddenly, what started as a trade rumor blew up into a full-blown philosophical debate. Is Shedeur worth it? Should the Jets roll the dice? Or is this just classic Browns behavior, shoot yourself in the foot, ice the one player with potential, and then ask for a treasure chest later? That's the kind of psychological warfare that only Cleveland could pull off. Delusional enough to be hilarious, strategic enough to maybe, just maybe, be serious. But guess who's not laughing? Kevin Stefanski. Because what happens next might be the final crack in the Browns' locker room. At this point, you've got to ask the question, why won't Kevin Stefanski play Shadūr Sanders? It's not a talent issue, even his teammates can see that. It's not a health issue. Shedeur literally said he was ready to go. So what is it? Whispers are growing louder, and they all point in one direction. This is personal, because what Stefanski is doing makes zero football sense. He's riding with Dillon Gabriel, a struggling rookie who looks completely overwhelmed every time he touches the field. The offense? Flatlined. The passing game? Non-existent. The fans? Ready to riot. But Stefanski? Doubling down. Shrugging at questions, mumbling coach speak like, trust the process, and we're committed to our game plan. It's like watching a captain calmly steer his ship into an iceberg, then explaining the move as strategic data alignment. You don't even need to squint to see what's going on. Every chance Stefanski gets, he skips over Shedeur. Every tough game, every blown play, every opportunity to make a change, he chooses not to. And that's not coaching. That's a statement. Reporters have noticed it. Players have felt it. Fans are screaming about it. They've watched Stefanski break down QB after QB, overthink game plans, run the offense like it's a spreadsheet instead of a locker room full of human beings. And now, with Shedeur, it's like he's trying to prove a point, not win games. Some analysts say Stefanski's trying to force the front office's hand. Either he gets to choose his guy or the whole house burns. Others think it's pure ego, because if Shedeur ends up on the field and balls out, Stefanski's the guy who kept a star under wraps while his team spiraled, and that's a stain on a resume no coach wants. But whatever the reason, one thing is brutally clear. He doesn't believe in Shedeur at all. And the longer he holds the line, the more this starts to look like sabotage. By now, this isn't even football anymore, it's full-blown theater. The NFL has entered its soap opera era, and the Shadūr Sanders saga is the opening act in what might be the most dramatic episode yet. Reddit is on fire. Twitter's a battlefield. Jets fans are praying like it's draft night again. Browns fans are cursing like they just relived every heartbreak in franchise history, and Schefter can't even tweet fast enough to keep up. People aren't just interested. They're fully invested, like it's the season finale of Game of Thrones invested. And the memes? Oh, the memes are historic. Shedeur photoshopped in a Jets jersey with flames behind him. Kevin Stefanski edited as Thanos, snapping quarterbacks out of existence. Myles Garrett walking off with his helmet like it's an emotional support weapon. It's dramatic. It's unhinged. It's perfect entertainment. And somewhere in the middle of all this, Stefanski stands at the podium holding another press conference, acting like it's business as usual. Back tightness. We're staying the course. We're maximizing skill sets. My guy, the field looks like a Chernobyl test site, and you're standing there delivering TED Talks like everything's under control. Meanwhile, the league insiders are treating this like a political scandal. Rumors flying, agents panicking, PR teams drafting statements before trades even happen. Coaches from other teams are quietly rooting for Shedeur to escape, not because they want to face him, but because they're sick of watching Cleveland fumble the bag. Even rival players on social media are dropping cryptic emojis like, and because, let's be honest, everyone in the league is watching this train wreck unfold in real time. And you can't ignore what kind of noise this makes in New York. Jets fans have seen bad quarterback play before. This is their fever dream. A flashy, fast-talking, highly skilled quarterback dropped into the biggest media market in the world, with a chip on his shoulder and cameras following his every move? That's not a football story, that's a series pitch for HBO. And yet, the Browns are still in denial. Still asking for a second-round pick like they know something nobody else does. Still treating this like some negotiation instead of the PR wildfire racing across half the league. This ain't strategy anymore. It's satire wearing a playbook. Just imagine it. Shadūr Sanders, center stage. In New York City. The lights of MetLife. The pressure. The cameras. The swagger. A rookie QB turned media magnet dropped into a franchise starving for a real quarterback headline that isn't about injuries, meltdowns, or disappointment. This isn't just a trade, it's a reboot. A chance for the Jets to rewrite their entire identity from cursed to charismatic, from broken to bold. Think about it. The Jets, for years, have cycled through quarterbacks like expired milk. Zach Wilson didn't pan out. Rodgers went down before week 1 felt real. Simeon can't save a backyard football team, let alone the NFL. But Shedeur? There's something different about him. He's not just talented, he's magnetic. The kind of QB who doesn't shrink from the spotlight, he invites it. Where most rookies buckle under the pressure of New York's ruthless sports media, Shedeur would fire right back with a grin, a headline, and a touchdown. You can already see it. That signature smile. That flex after a first down run. That moment after a 40-yard bomb when the camera zooms in and he stares straight into the lens like, "Told you." The city would eat it up. Social media would melt. And suddenly, the Jets wouldn't just be relevant, they'd be marketable. This is what franchise cornerstones are made of. Not just skills, but storylines. Narratives, swagger, fire, drama that delivers. And while New York builds a new chapter around Shedeur, guess what's still happening back in Cleveland? Same old mess. Same coach. Same excuses. Same questions. Same bench. Whether Shedeur succeeds in New York or not doesn't even matter anymore. The fact is, the Browns will always be known as the team that had him and never used him. And if the Jets make the move, if this trade actually happens, you can forget evaluations. Forget rankings. That moment becomes instant NFL history. Either the best decision the Jets have made in years or the dumbest mistake the Browns have ever made. And let's be honest, both outcomes feel completely believable. You can only spin the truth for so long. You can only hide behind back tightness and team decisions and trusting the process before people stop listening and start exploding. And right now, the Browns are at their breaking point. The fans? They've had it. Some are calling for Shedeur to be traded, others want Stefanski fired. And a growing number just want the Browns to pick a direction, any direction, and stop driving in circles. Because this isn't just quarterback drama anymore. This is a franchise losing control of everything that matters. Trust, identity, and its own locker room. You can feel the tension bubbling, players frustrated, veterans speaking in coded sound bites, coaches dodging questions while national media roasts the team like it's open mic night. Shedeur's being shut out, Garrett's throwing helmets, and Stefanski still reciting the same worn-out lines about execution, alignment, and tempo like that's gonna stop the franchise from collapsing in real time. But here's the thing. Fans aren't stupid. They've seen this movie before, the one where the Browns have just enough talent to believe before tripping over themselves and ending the season in a flaming pile of what-ifs. And this year, it feels worse, because they're not just mismanaging the roster, they're wasting potential. Raw, unfiltered, can't-miss potential in Shadūr Sanders. And everyone knows it except the people pulling the strings. Keep playing Dylan Gabriel? Fine. Keep benching Shedeur under the excuse of game planning? Go ahead. But at some point, when the season's burning and fans are booing and New York's preparing his jersey in green and white, you're going to have to answer for it. The Browns needed to pick a lane. Instead, they picked a circus. And now? The call isn't just for change, it's survival. Because whether it's the trade deadline or the offseason, one thing is crystal clear. Something or someone has to go. Keep playing this game, and the Browns won't just lose a quarterback. They'll lose the entire locker room. You can feel it now, can't you? This isn't just about depth charts or trade packages. It's bigger, it's messier, and it's painfully, hilariously Cleveland. You've got a team that finally landed a dynamic rookie quarterback with swagger, skill, and star potential, only to stick him on the shelf like a souvenir they don't know how to price. You've got a head coach so obsessed with staying the course, he's blind to the fallout burning behind him. You've got fans begging for answers, a locker room on the edge, and the whole NFL watching like it's the last episode of a season that never should have been renewed. And then there's the Jets, standing just off-screen, phone in hand, ready to make their move. Will it happen? Will the Browns find clarity? Or cling to chaos? Will Shedeur get the shot he's earned in New York? Or literally anywhere else? Because one thing's clear. The Browns can't sit on the fence much longer. The headlines are louder than the play calls, and the sideline explosions are getting harder to hide behind phrases like, "trust the process." Eventually, something has to give. Either Cleveland frees Shedeur, or they keep him chained to a system that never believed in him and becomes the cautionary tale for how to choke franchise talent before it ever gets started. So what's it going to be? Is Shadūr Sanders the future the Jets have been praying for? or the biggest mistake the Browns have ever made? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you've had enough of the Browns QB chaos. And hit subscribe because trust me, this story, it's far from over.